Oh, good morning. What's up, peeps? Welcome to Slimming Superfoods. So excited for a brand new Express Masterclass with you this morning. Welcome in. Good morning to you. Let's do some pleasantries. Welcome, everybody. Good morning. Thanks for all the hellos. Good morning, Linda in Wisconsin. Great to see you. Welcome in, peeps. It is going to be a good day today. Slimming Superfoods, the 13 superfoods that are the opposite of slimming. I can't wait to throw that bonus in there for you. And then dial this in. Good morning, everyone. Hey, Annalise. Good morning to you. Hey, Valerie in Georgia. Patricia in Jacksonville, North Carolina. Indiana, Linda is tuning in from. Lots of Lindas on this morning. Good morning, good morning. Hey, Karen. Good to see you. Welcome in. Hey, Deb from Ohio. Good morning to you. Flava Flex. Also in North Kakalaki with me. Arkansas, Alabama, lots from Florida, Oklahoma. A lot of people tuning in. Welcome in, peeps. Welcome in. So great to have you with the Slimming Superfoods for the very first time. Being able to break this down, something a lot of people are extremely interested in as far as the push for these injectables to lose weight. Let's get down to what God gave us to lose some weight, the foods that we have to lose some weight, whatever your perspective is on that, to drop it. And these are the slimming foods that will do it. And I will show you the research and I'll make it very easy. They are more simple than you think. These aren't like extreme rare foods from around the world. So I'm excited to walk into it. Thanks for all the good mornings. There are thousands of you on right now to enjoy this training. I truly believe this can really slim up the waistline to get you on this direction to looking good and feeling good and living good by this summer with these foods. I've been implementing them in myself. I used a couple of them, at least 5 or 6 of them already in my routine this morning. So it's easy to implement and I'm just pumped to be with you. Put a lot of effort into this one. Very excited to do something about the obesity crisis in this country, the liver crisis in this country. I think so many people are ending up with overweightness through the liver. We're going to talk about the foods that help that this morning. So Norma is tuning in from heaven this morning, also known as Iowa. Welcome in. Becky, how you doing? Great to see you. She's saying hello to the staff as well. Incredible team in behind us today. Patty, good to see you from Iowa as well. South Carolina, Oklahoma, Michigan. Good morning, team. Our coaches, they'll be helping out, answering questions, helping with any issues sort of as we go. And then I'll be doing a Q&A later after the trainings. But it's about that time. It's about that time now that the pleasantries are there to really get you some help. There's a link going up here that will give you access into the live room. If you are tuning in on one of the social channels right now, to come into the live room, to grant you replay access, to get you resource access, and to get you into where the live Q&A will be, that is your link. It will take you to a page that I'm going to pull up here in one sec so I can actually show it to you. You're going to want to head on over to this page right here. So there is a link there. Now, most of you have already done this. You're sitting in the live room already. But to join the live room, to get the resources on that page, and to get the replays of today's, you'll want to simply register. Email, phone number is optional, and that will redirect you to the live room that's happening right now. So I do not want you to miss out on those resources. I do not want you to miss out on the replays. So get the link for the resource page, which is right there for you. If you happen to be outside of the live room at the moment, didn't want to exclude you, that you can hop into the live room, grab those resources. That registration link is going to get you the replay page after we edit things later on today. Send them out, replay weekend, if you've ever been a part before. So this is the Slimming Superfoods Express Masterclass. So not a full-on, give me a yes if you've been through like a full-on 4-day masterclass with me. Maybe earlier this year. I've done 6 or 7 of them over the course of the last 5 years. We're not doing one of those. This is the condensed down version of here's what to eat, not to eat, to help your body feel more full. So it starts lowering the waistline down. So Melissa, welcome in from my hometown. That's incredible. So Yes, Tony, you've got it. The questions are going to be asked there. You got it. I see lots of yeses in the chat, so the chat is working properly. Dual purpose there. And if you're having any issues with that link, I would highly advise copying it and then open your browser and then open it in the browser. And then that will, sometimes there's just if you're trying to open it within a social media app, can have some challenges there. Coaches, I want to get started here in just a minute. I want to make sure, housekeeping wise, nothing that I need to be aware of, and that we've got communication channels open between me and you. They're behind the scenes, helping out, guiding, leading. So, double checking in there. Make sure you've got a chance to register. I know a lot of you are here, you're ready. You've got your pen and paper, your note-taking pad, whatever it may be. Hopefully you got your workout in already. Maybe it's a little too early for it still. But Coach, I see a message in there. I think it's about time to go. Very excited for this training. So glad that you are here. Want to add as much value as I can. Coaches just gave me a let's go. Could you echo that in the chat and put a let's go? An LG, let's go. DLG. All right, here we go. Slimming Superfoods. I'm gonna hit the record button. If you've never been part of this before, we are literally creating trainings that millions of people will watch in the future. Isn't that crazy? You're on live, which means so much to me because I just give way more energy when I know you're there, and I can immediately answer questions after I get through the training, and I can give you the resources and answer the questions as we go. I've put a few resources on the resource page. The let's goes are rolling in. Let's go. All right, coffee's got to go aside. Last call. If you are watching this outside of the live room, make sure that you register. Click that link, register. It's going to get you the replays. It's going to get you the live Q&A. It's going to get you the resources I'll be talking about as I go through the training. Let's go. Let's go. All right, pumped peeps. Excited that you're here. This is the Slimming Superfoods, a training I have not seen done by anyone to date. Here it is. The 13 best superfoods that suppress appetite and drive weight loss. Why does this matter? The waistlines and the liver health are out of control. Body mass index is not the end-all be-all when it comes to your weight, but when we faced with reality, I probably don't have to tell you or express to you too much that it's a problem. We've got issues when it comes to our weight, and we need to do something about this. So take a moment, just find yourself on this chart if you've never done it before, or maybe you've done it in the past. Maybe your number's getting better. Maybe it's getting worse. Find yourself on this chart really quick. So on the left-hand side, you'll find your weight. Okay, this gives you just a little bit of reference. This is why these superfoods matter. So this will give you a little bit of weight on the side you're going to look at, and then down below you're looking for your height. Weight, and then you're looking for your height. And you bring those two together. And so if you weighed 160 pounds and your normal was, you were 6 foot, you would be in the normal range, okay? But if you were 160 pounds and you were only 5'4", now you're in the overweight range. So this is why these numbers right here matter, because the crazy amount of people in our country and now around the world that are considered obese is a big problem. And this is why these superfoods today matter and why we're going to cover what we're going to cover. So you've had a chance, you find your number, and then you start to look at what this thing has done over the last 50 years. And when you look at, if you've never seen these charts before, this is the obesity rates. I know I've showed this many times, but it matters because it's not genetics. That's the problem. It's not the grandpa or grandma's problem. This isn't some kind of disease that has snuck up and just nipped us. This is lifestyle related. This is 1985, what's happening inside the United States, inside the bellies. 10 to 14% of a few states in 1985 are considered obese. And I show these charts a lot because they're so impactful that we are lifestyling ourselves into this problem. The foods that we are eating are 100% directly causing these issues. So it's time to do something about them, because as you'll see this go, 1986, 87, 88, 89. We've a new category showing up in 91. Now we have 15 to 19% of these people are obese in these states. As we continue on, 92, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we get a new category of 20%, 1 out of 5 people in the yellow states. By the time we hit the 2000, it accelerates. 25%, 1 out of 4 in the orange, 1 out of 3 in the red. By the time we get to the 2010s, we have to switch the chart. The CDC didn't teach the superfoods that help to slim, the foods that make you feel more full, the foods that help you not eat so much. Nope, they just changed the chart, slid the colors, made room for even more colors. So now the orange states are 30 to 35%. And it just continues, my friends, 35 to 40. Continuing on, now we get up into our first red zone, which is 40 to 45% of the states. And then we are creeping very close to almost half of the people in these states. And this is the 2023 reality. This is the issue. This is what we're going after today. This is what I'm concerned with today. Doing something about it. I know you want to look better in the bathing suit. I know you want to feel better. But it goes way deeper because it impacts your health. A 15-pound weight gain doubles your risk of type 2 diabetes. That is the #1 cause of heart failure. 22-pound weight gain increases stroke risk by 25%. Obesity rates create an 81% increased risk of heart failure. Triples breast cancer risks. We don't need more walks around a track. We don't need more pink clothes. We need to clean up what we're eating, and these superfoods will begin to unlock it. You can do this. You can eat foods that taste really good. You can eat foods that fill you up so you don't keep pounding it in. But this is not happening in other countries. This is a direct initiative that is making America way worse than anywhere else in the world. We have an addiction to food. I want to help you replace that today by showing you what not to eat and we'll show you to eat. But look at how much our numbers are growing compared to the rest of the world. And it is my responsibility and it is other doctors' responsibility. Shame on us for not educating you more on exactly what to eat and fighting back. We no longer can just wait and treat and cover things up and then do something about it after the fact, because we spend more on healthcare expenses than anywhere else in the world, but our life expectancy is going down. And not only is life expectancy going down, we are 30th out of 34 in the world in years of potential life loss. That means if you were to live to 78 or 80, you have the least chance of making it here in America than you do living in other countries. That is a systemic broken problem, broken system. 6 out of 10 of Americans, almost 7 now, have a chronic disease. 5 out of 6 ending up with heart disease or cancer in their lifetime. 6.7 with Alzheimer's. Directly related to the foods you're eating. It is called type 3 diabetes. 225 million mental health drugs prescribed every year. 65 million people with a mental health disorder. Directly correlated to what's going in your mouth. In the past 20 years, obesity has doubled and it's quadrupled for our kids. This is a legacy issue, Grandma. This is a legacy issue, Grandpa. This is a legacy issue, Mom and Dad. You are in charge of what goes in the fridge and what goes in the cupboard. They've got to learn this as well, but it starts with you. 390 million worldwide are diagnosed as being overweight. In 2022, 37 million children under the age of 5 were overweight. That is unacceptable to me as a doctor. We're 54th in the world in infant mortality rate. Johns Hopkins University rates us 37 out of 37 industrialized nations in overall health. Autism is skyrocketing, and for the first time in history, this generation of kids will live shorter lifespans than their parents. We are spending more, but life expectancy is going down. If all we focus on is the diagnosis, the treatment, and the management and of sickness and disease, all we will get is sickness and disease. So here is the hot topic solution for the celebrities and everyone else we are seeing. It is GLP-1s. This is going to fix this, is the claim. But it's going to make this even worse, as you will soon see. GLP-1s, the basic pathway of them is in the gut. And when a person eats a meal, a cascade of hormones begin to happen inside, including GLP-1. It is released to aid the absorption of the food into the digestive tract, breaking it down and absorbing the nutrients. As the food gets broken down into glucose, which is your brain's preferred form of energy, most all areas of your body's preferred form of energy, and also other molecules come off of it. In the digestive tract, GLP-1 gets released from the intestine, which says, we're good, we've got what we need, shut down the eating mechanism. So the level of the hormones rise, tells the brain to shut it down, which spikes the signals to say, we are full, stop. Stop. Put a message in the comments if you think, yes, that is one of the main issues I have when it comes to my weight, is I overeat. This is why this is attractive. Because a lot of us suffer with it. So the way in which the drug does this is they are causing the weight loss due to suppression of food intake, satiety, feeling satisfied with what you ate, feeling satisfied with what you ate. That's what that thing does. You can artificially do it, or what if I could show you how to do it with the foods you're already eating? Increasing satiety means people eating smaller, less frequent meals. You might have been told, eat more frequently. That is not the case. This will not be promoting lots of snacking. Not that you can't do a little bit, but feeling more full prevents that urge from even being there, and is the urges that we want to control. So the way that we initially brought them to light was with diabetes medications. They tell the pancreas to actually release more insulin depending on what your blood glucose is. And then they also slow down the digestion. But 3, they have the effect on the brain, and it actually quiets it so you don't think about food so much. So people say they feel full more long and they're not thinking about food as much. So the drug was designed to mimic it. They're called semaglutides. This is Ozempic, this is Wegovy, this is Trulicity. And they make the same shape of this hormone and they're absorbed into the guts. Well, Dr. Livinggood, I'm excited for your Superfoods training, but this is sounding pretty legit. This is sounding pretty good. Here's the problem, Barry. Here's the problem, Sally. The negative ones that sit in my head, and I'm always looking for the shortcut, is it comes with all of these. These are the known obvious side effects and concerns. When you use this, instead of stimulating your normal hormones inside your body, what your body is supposed to. Ozempic is semaglutide. It's a synthetic version of the hormone. It doesn't break down very well in the body, so it lasts a long time. And the problem with that is your body's got to figure out how to get rid of it once it's done its impact. So it lives in the body, and the organ that's got to take care of it is the liver. It's the one that has to isolate all the toxins, all the synthetic things. Liver-driven weight loss and liver issues is the fastest growing problem in the world. So here's the side effects that come with it: liver and others. Nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, constipation, abdominal pain, dyspepsia, increased risk of thyroid cancer and medullary thyroid cancer, hypoglycemic events when combined with other certain drugs, potential skin sagging, amplified visibility of wrinkles, depletion of facial fat, collagen, and elastin, destroys the skin, renal, possibility correlation with acute kidney injury and renal issues, rashes, erythema, itching, potential for transit bumps, pancreas, elevated pancreatic enzymes, possible pancreatitis, possible issues with the gallbladder, allergens, antibody formation, possible hypersensitivity, rare severe anaphylactic responses, increases in heart rate, which is going to drive more cardiac issues, variable impacts on bone fracture risks. And you're just watching the guy skip along on the beach, skinny, and we forget all about this. What does that do to the health of your skin? What does it do to the health of your kidneys? What does it do to the health of your liver? There will be an explosion that will make and drive this even worse. And my main issue with this, there are two big problems, peeps. One is all these nasty side effects that come with these drugs, but there are two big problems with the diet approach and the big pharma approach altogether. These industries, we don't just want lighter caskets, we want healthier human beings. I say it all the time. You just lighter means you can still have, let me show you this again, all of these. Skin issues and pancreas issue. You might be light, but you have this. That's false health. I want you to have real health. The second problem is that with the diet and the big pharma industries, the way you eat off the diet and off the drug is your lifestyle. So I had the crazy opportunity. This weekend at Easter, there is an MD at the Easter party with me. And I'm like, well, the only thing I really love talking about, right, is health. So we get into this convo. And I'm like, tell me about, are you prescribing these right here? He's like, yeah. And he's like, there's 3 buckets. I'm like, how's it going? I'm intrigued. This is front row seat. This is what's actually happening. And he goes, there's a percentage of people just does nothing. There's a percentage of people that'll lose a little bit and then they're just stuck. And he's like, then some people just take off and they have this huge weight loss, right? And he's like, there's just 3 different buckets. But then he says, none of it's sustainable. Tell me more. I lean in. He's like, as soon as it stops, none of it's sustainable. So you either are going to have to continue to keep doing this to the system to keep it down, or address this issue. The way that you eat off of that extreme diet that you did that starved you and left you so hungry and left you miserable because all you wanted was just this something to fill you up and make you feel satisfied, but you couldn't find it and you had to stick to that diet. Or as soon as you come off of that drug that miraculously dropped pounds for you but drove all of this, how then will you handle being a human? How then will you live? What will be your lifestyle? When the diet stops and the drug stops, what's the lifestyle? I will give the disclaimer. There are some people that are really having a big struggle. I don't think you're on this masterclass because you're really wanting to use one of those GLP-1s. And if there is a scenario where someone gets their life saved or gets impacted and it is a medical necessity, then perfectly fine. I am not talking about the 1% or 2% or 5% of people. 95% of everyone listening to this or that could listen to this needs lifestyle help. Not more drugs and not more trick foods or diets. We have too much of that. Here's the hope. I'm not condemning you is what I'm trying to say. If you are or have or a family member or someone, that is not the approach we will take when you're sharing this. That's not the approach to take to your aunt that's using it because it fires you up inside. Like, I've had those feelings. We are not condemning those people and shaming those people. And it's just a system that's broken, that's not serving them. It is why I am right here, right now. Because that doctor understood everything I was talking about. And then we continued to have an hour conversation of him grilling me about, I tried this supplement. Tell me about it. What about this nutrient? Tell me about it. He's doing all of those steps. He is not taking one of these. He is actively trying to get a supplement to change lifestyle factors, and he's asking me the lifestyle combos. Dude, help me help them. By putting effort and time into our lifestyle, into our foods, and doing masterclasses just like this, every doctor on the planet has an hour or two to sit down and teach. Here's what I actually eat. Here's what I'm actually doing. And how impactful that would be. Here's the masterclass to make you have a choice. If you still choose the drugs, that's your choice. I'm just saying there's consequences. And I'm not going to shame you for it. But I don't think you've properly been painted the consequences. I don't think that pamphlet got to you. In fact, I know it. And I don't think you listened to the end of the commercial. But I'm hoping to wake you up to it a little bit if you are considering that even if you are going to be on that drug, you still have to address your lifestyle. You still have to. If you can lifestyle your way into it, you can lifestyle your way out of it. That is a solution for the broken system that we have worldwide. We are lifestyling our way into this. We are the problem for 95% of it. We're not focusing on the stuff we can't control. What we can control is driving 95% of this, which means I'm the problem, which makes me the solution. If I'm the problem, I'm the solution. You are the solution. Now you just need knowledge, not information. We are in the information age. You can get information faster than anything. We need knowledge. Applying this info into action. That's what I want for you. That's my intention, always. So the purpose of what I call a new lifestyle change, the purpose of lifestyling your way out of it, the purpose of the living good lifestyle is to detox the crap and feel good. CRAP is an acronym. If you've seen me teach before, I'm not going to get into too much of today. I'm going to show you some crap foods, but it's these processed carbohydrates, it's these rancid oils, it's these artificial flavorings and ingredients and all this artificial junk that's being put into our foods, and it is highly processed proteins. That's crap. Detox that, and you feel good. Then you unlock fat burning after 2 weeks of that, and then you start looking good. And then you keep going on that track, and you heal. Really tough stuff. You name it, I've seen it overcome. Inflammation and conditions, and we get this healing time if you give it enough time. If you don't confine yourself to a diet, just this tight thing that I gotta willpower it through. If you give yourself some space to actually make changes and learn about these superfoods and learn how to shop and consistently get them in, even if you falter, you stay the course. You keep it then. That's a lifestyle, and you live good. You look good and you feel good and you live good. That's the purpose. Here's the foods. Here's the foods. You've probably been told to eat some of these foods, or at least not to worry about them. But the truth is these 13 foods are some of the worst things you can eat if you're trying to lose weight. They mess with your hormones, they increase cravings, and they teach your body to store fat instead of burn it. And you're probably consuming some of them without even knowing it. So let's walk through them one by one, and I'll show you why they need to go. Let's start here. I did the research and looked up on the satiety chart what is the number one food that gives you the least satisfaction when you eat it. One of the worst things you can put in your body in the morning, croissants and donuts. I love them. I love them. It tastes so good. But this is the number one least satisfying food. They might look different. One's flaky, one's fried, but they both act exactly the same as sugar bombs when you eat them. They're made of white flour. They have added sugar. There's virtually no fiber. That's the key. They just pile in sugar with no negative to it. No protein, no fat to slow down digestion. That makes them digest very quickly into the bloodstream. Your blood sugar spikes within 4 seconds. Your body releases insulin to clear the sugar from your bloodstream, and the insulin shuts down fat burning mode. And insulin is high, you can't burn the fat. It turns on fat storage. It's not a short-term effect. That hormonal shift lasts for hours, not just through breakfast, but also well into the day. You've set yourself up for fat storage mode for the day. But it doesn't stop there. Shortly after eating a croissant or a donut, your blood sugar crashes because it rose too high, too fast. Now you feel tired, sluggish, hungry again, even though you just ate. One study found that people who started their day with a high sugar breakfast like a donut or a croissant ate 53% more calories at their next meal. High sugar breakfast, 53% increase of eating on the next meal. Not because they were undisciplined, but because their body was still trying to recover from the spike and the crash. And that's the hidden danger here. These foods don't just spike blood sugar, they train your body to need more food sooner, every time. You eat them, they digest fast, you crash, you snack, you repeat. That's what I mean when I say flip your fat storage switch before 9 a.m. That's the key. The next one, it's a popular food. It's sitting in millions of refrigerators, and it's marketed like it's a healthy choice. Low-fat yogurt. It sounds like something you should eat when you're trying to lose weight, but inside your body, it acts more like a dessert. Here's why. When you take the fat out of yogurt, you are removing the very thing that helps you feel full. Fat slows digestion. It triggers fullness hormones. Without it, your body doesn't get the signal to stop eating. And to make up the missing flavor, the manufacturers of this stuff add sugars and artificial sweeteners. Here's the label of one of them, cultured grade A low-fat milk. When you take out the fat, you add sugar. That's the second ingredient. We've got some strawberries. Thank God we're using real fruit. Fructose, more sugar, which now your liver has to digest. Fructose can't be broken down in the blood or in the mouth like the glucose can. It has to be driven to the liver. Now you're driving liver weight gain. Modified cornstarch, more sugar, natural artificial flavors. Now we've got chemicals involved. We've got fruit juice, vegetable juice, more sugars, some synthetic vitamins, this stuff. Desserts. Most flavored low-fat yogurt contains 25 to 30 grams of sugar per serving. That's more than some candy bars. And in some cases, that sugar triggers the same blood sugar spike and fat storage cascade that we talked about earlier. But that's not all. Low-fat yogurt is usually low in protein. It's low in fiber. So even after eating 150 to 200 calories, your body still feels like something's missing. Fiber and protein are important. So it's sweet enough to feel like food, but it doesn't keep you satisfied. And if it's sweetened with artificial sweeteners like sucralose, that can make things even worse. These have been shown to disrupt gut bacteria, interfere with the hunger and the fullness hormones, increase cravings, even without extra calories. So you're left with a food that tastes like a treat, but it doesn't satisfy you, and it confuses your body's appetite and regulating system. This isn't just a food that fails to help. It's one that keeps your hunger running even when you think you're eating healthy. The next one shows up in break rooms. The next one shows up in break rooms bakeries and breakfast trays everywhere. Muffins. They're warm, familiar, often dressed up with words like bran, blueberry, multigrain. And because they're baked, not fried, they seem like a much better option. But muffins are one of the most deceptive foods on this list. Here's why. The average muffin today is about 4 ounces. A couple decades ago, it was closer to 1.5 ounces. That means muffins are now more than 2.5 times the size that they used to be. And inside that overdosed portion, you're getting about 470 calories and 39 grams of sugar from just one. But you wouldn't think of that, not that way. It's not greasy. It's not covered in frosting. Some of them are, but a lot of times not. It fits in your hand. It comes from a bakery. It's not a vending machine, so it feels like a safe choice, but nutritionally, muffins are low in protein, low in fiber, and full of refined carbs. That means they digest quickly and they don't trigger the hormones that tell your brain to stop eating. This is the one I grew up with. Mama Living Good made these all the time. They were sitting on the counter and I loved them. I loved the top of the muffin. But that enriched bleached flour with very little fiber and fake synthetic vitamins that are toxifying you. Thank God it had some blueberries, but with the blueberry it had liquid sugar, corn syrup, modified cornstarch, more sugar, palm oil, cornstarch, more sugar, and then natural and artificial flavors. They tasted amazing, but these were on my counter all the time. So when those 400 calories from that went into the body, I didn't feel full. So I used to eat like 2 or 3 of them at a time as a kid. And it didn't just affect me in that moment, and it doesn't just affect you in that moment. Muffins train your body to expect more food sooner. So they create a loop. Fast sugar, fast crash, easy hunger. Fast sugar, fast crash, early hunger, and then it repeats. So your blood sugar will spike, insulin will show up to store the excess sugar, but the real damage is the habit, that quick energy, that large volume, the low satisfaction. That combination teaches your body to crave more, even when you've already eaten enough. The next one shows up in a lot of meals that seem very healthy or very harmless. Here's the version I had as a kid. In a minute, we got some rice, 38 grams of carbohydrates, no fiber, and only 4 grams of protein. You'll find it in stir fries. You'll find it in grain bowls, in sushi, and even in meal prep plans, a lot in meal prep plans. It looks clean, but inside your body, it behaves more like sugar than most people realize. Here's why. White rice is a refined grain. The outer layers of it are stripped away. It removes the fiber. You want more fiber if you're going to have rice. It removes the healthy fat. It removes most of the nutrition. What's left is a fast-burning starch. Your body starts to digest those in 4 seconds. Blood sugar immediately goes up, insulin immediately released, and if you're not using that energy immediately, your body stores it as fat. You're putting yourself instantly into fat storage mode. That's one problem. But the bigger issue is what happens when it becomes a routine. When you eat white rice regularly, maybe you're a sushi lover, your body adapts. It starts producing more insulin to manage that sugar load. And over time, your cells respond less effectively as insulin goes up. That's called insulin resistance. And it's one of the reasons people gain weight or struggle to lose it, even when they're eating light. In one large study, each daily serving of white rice increased the risk of type 2 diabetes by 11%. So what's the long-term effect? You're training your body to run on fast carbs, not fat. You're fueling with fast carbs, not fat. And that keeps your metabolism stuck in storage mode, even if your calories are controlled. You're cutting calories. Over time, it adds up. One long-term study found that people who ate 2 or more servings of white rice or white bread per day were 43% more likely to become overweight or obese, compared to those who ate it once a week or less. Even when calories and exercise were kept exactly the same in this study, 43% gain when you're eating it daily. White rice doesn't help you stay full either. It's low in fiber, as you just saw. It has almost no protein or fat. So it digests fast, and then it leaves you looking for more food sources sooner. And keep in mind, while white rice is often the base of the meal, not just a side, it fills most of the plate or in the bowl, right? Like put it all over on the bottom. But it delivers almost nothing in terms of long-term energy or satisfaction, satiety. So it's marketed as healthy, served in health food bowls, but inside your body it behaves like sugar. And it's part of your routine. It may, if it's part of your routine, it may be the reason that your body is storing fat, not burning it. Next up, number 5, is the food that taught me most. Let me show it. Next up. Oh, I love this one. I did so much of this one. Next up, number 5. It's the food that taught most of us to start the day with sugar. And we're still paying for it. This is what I was taught almost every day. They're great. A bowl of 42 grams of total carbohydrates, 1 gram of fiber, 22 grams of sugar, synthetic vitamins. This is what we're filling our bodies with. Right behind this, I snacked on these for most of the day. Cereal bars. On the boxes of these, they don't look that bad. They got these fruits and nuts and highlights, naturally flavored. But look at the length of this list of foods. 20 of ingredients, 24 grams of carbohydrates, 1 gram of fiber, 12 grams of added sugar, 1 protein. This is immediately going in, and it would not satisfy me. So I would eat a giant bowl of this. I would use a Tupperware bowl. So I had like a triple serving. And then I would eat 2 or 3 of these at a time. And that's what I was taught as a kid. And I bet a lot of you were too. A lot of them have a heart symbol on it. Whole grain stamp. Just a handful of sugar per serving. But what no one tells you is no one eats the serving size. The typical label says 1 cup. Who the heck eats 1 cup of cereal? That's the size of a coffee mug. Real life? You're eating 2 to 4 times that easily. So that 8 grams of sugar on the label is more like 16 or 24. Changes everything about how your body responds. You're hitting your system with a big dose of fast-burning carbs. There's no fat, virtually no fiber, nothing to slow that fast hit of carbs down. So your blood sugar spikes, and it spikes fast. Insulin's released, your body shifts to fat storage mode. And then comes the crash. Now you feel tired, you feel sluggish, you feel hungry again, even though you just ate. Starting with a high sugar breakfast, one study found, means eating 53% more calories in the next meal. I will keep repeating that. That's a full day hunger spike caused by what you ate the first thing in the morning. The cereal bars, they're built on the same stuff. Sugar, refined grains, seed oils. It's not enough protein or fiber as advertised on the label, not enough to make a difference in the body. They taste good. You gotta be very careful with bars. But they don't satisfy you because a lot of them are fast carbs. And then they leave you hungry and cravings running full speed ahead. So even though they're marketed like smart choices, they work against everything to do with your metabolism. Number 6, the next one. This one is got some evilness to it, and I have an edge to it for Dr. Livingood. The next one is marketed like it's a smart, healthy choice. Artificial flavors. Your sweet and lows, your equals, your splendas, your sucraloses, your asulfamine potassium, your asulfamine, your ACE-K, your aspartame. these artificial sweeteners. You'll see these in everything from protein powders, healthy protein powders, flavored drinks, health drinks, 0-calorie anything, skinny anything. They're in so many health products, it's sickening to me. The most common one, sucralose, the ingredient behind Splenda. Here's what most people don't realize. Even though it has 0 calories, sucralose can still cause weight gain. And not just a little bit. It makes you eat more, store more, and burn less. Let me break it down. First, appetite. Sucralose disrupts your hunger signal. It interferes with leptin, the hormone that tells your brain you're full. So even after a meal, your body doesn't feel satisfied. It makes you want to eat again, even if you just ate like 20 minutes ago. Second, your gut. Sucralose damages the healthy bacteria in your gut, especially the really beneficial one. Bifidobacteria, lactobacillus. These are ones that are really needed for your immune system and your gut health. They help to regulate weight loss, inflammation, blood sugar. When those bacteria go down, your ability to burn fat and control craving goes down with them. And thirdly, it turns into what it turns into. Gut bacteria convert sucralose into a compound called sucralose 6-acetate. And this compound has been shown to damage the DNA, break down the gut lining, and increase inflammation. And the more inflamed your body is, the harder it is to lose weight, the harder it is to keep it off. Fourthly, the liver. Sucralose gets priority clearance by the liver. The liver is going to deal with sucralose first. This is why I call it the #1 most dangerous health food ingredient on the planet. Because the liver prioritizes it to clear it. It prioritizes it over processed foods, medications, other toxins, excess energy from your last meal. Everything gets prioritized for the sucralose to deal with and isolate that. All that from something that's supposed to help you lose weight. It's not just in diet soda. It's in protein bars, flavored waters, yogurt, sauces, even toothpaste. There's a mouthwash that I saw over the weekend that had it in there. Why is there sucralose in the mouthwash? If you've been using it and thinking it's a healthier option, there's a good chance it's doing the exact opposite. Please watch my video of the #1 most dangerous health food ingredient. That video is below. Not right at the moment, but in a little bit. That video is linked below for you. The #1 most dangerous health ingredient. It will shock you. Stay the heck away from that one. Number 7, fruit juice. This one looks healthy. It sounds healthy, but inside your body, it behaves almost exactly like soda. Fruit juice, you'll see it on the label. I grabbed a couple here. You'll see it on the label. It's going to be 100% juice, no added sugars, natural or immune support. But here's the truth. Most commercial fruit juice is just sugar and water with a health label. That's the ingredients that are inside of this thing. When you start breaking them down and looking at what's in it, it's concentrates, it's extracted sugars with added sugars. They contain as much and often more sugar per ounce than soda. 28 grams of carbs, 28 grams of sugar, no protein, no fiber. Apple juice, grape juice, orange juice, doesn't matter. Once you remove the fiber, your body treats it like it's straight shot of sugar. So a cup of orange juice, 24 grams of sugar, 1 orange, 9 grams of sugar. The cup of orange juice, no fiber to subtract it off of. The orange, 3 grams of fiber. So now the total sugar dose is only at 6. You subtract the fiber from the sugar. That's how you counteract it. When you go against nature, bad news for the body. It's mostly fructose. And that matters because fructose isn't used by your muscles like glucose is. It's not used in the gut or other areas. Fructose is only processed by your liver. And when the liver gets more than it can handle, it converts the excess into fat, specifically triglycerides. Those go up in your blood. That blood fat goes up and your belly expands. That's how fruit juice, even without added sugar, can still lead to weight gain, fatty liver, and insulin resistance. And the numbers behind it are even more surprising. It takes about 3 to 4 oranges to make 1 glass of orange juice. You'd never eat that many oranges in one sitting. But in the liquid form with the fiber removed, it goes down in seconds. And that fiber, that is important. Fiber slows down digestion. It helps you feel full, and it keeps sugar from hitting your system all at once. Juice removes the fiber, leaves the sugar, and adds nothing back. So your blood sugar spikes fast, your hunger returns just as quickly. Most commercialized juices are pasteurized and shelf stable. That means the vitamins are degraded, the antioxidants are broken down, but the sugar stays exactly the same. So what you're drinking is sweet, but it delivers very little nutrition. It's not helping your metabolism. It's not reducing your cravings, and it's not keeping you full. So yes, it's natural, but so is cane sugar. That doesn't mean you want to drink it. Number 8, white bread. It's one of the most common foods in the modern diet, one of the most misleading. White bread is soft, it's familiar, shows up everywhere. Sandwiches, toast, dinner rolls. It's because it's not sugary or fried. So most people assume it's a safer option, but white bread is what nutrition experts call an empty calorie food. Here's what that means. Okay, I'm talking white bread. It gives you energy, but not nutrition. It has no fiber, no healthy fat, and almost no protein. White bread. So what's left is fast digesting starch that your body has to quickly break down and starts to store almost immediately. You eat it, the blood sugar rises, insulin gets released, your body shifts into fat storage mode again and again. The real issue isn't what happens that day, it's what happens over time. A European study showed people who ate 2 or more servings of white bread were 43% more likely to become overweight or obese, even when controlling for calories and activity. And in a separate 4-year clinical study, people who increased their white bread intake gained an average of 2.4 centimeters around their waist. Those who ate less didn't. That kind of waist gain doesn't just show up on the outside. It usually means that there's fat building up around the internal organs, and that's the kind of fat that causes real problems. It's called visceral fat. It's not just something that you can pinch. It's metabolically active. It interferes with the hormones that your body uses to burn the fat, to control your blood sugar, to manage your inflammation levels. So it means you slow down metabolism. It's going to raise heart risk, heart disease risk, insulin resistance. Makes it harder to lose weight. So even if you're eating well, you can't. So why does white bread do it? Your body treats it like fuel, but it burns through it way too fast. When there's bread with no fiber, when there's bread with no fat, when there's bread with no protein, if you're going to have breads, we need fiber, we need protein. You're left unsatisfied and primed to eat a lot more later. White bread fills space on the plate. So when it comes to the table at a restaurant and they set it there, I pass. Your metabolism will thank you for it because you're not stuck in storage mode. Every time you eat bread at that meal, toast at breakfast, sandwich at lunch, a roll at dinner, none of it feels like too much. But over time, it starts to increase the waistline very slowly. That's leading to the reason why your body can't seem to let go of the extra fat. Number 9, French fries. Let's talk about the food that's topped every list for long-term weight gain. Every single one of them, top of the list is French fries. In a 20-year Harvard study that tracked 120,000 people, French fries were the number 1 food most strongly linked to long-term weight gain. More than soda, more than sweets, more than chips, more than all other foods, fries. And the reason might surprise you. Fries are made from refined white potatoes, stripped of almost all of their fiber. So the starch breaks down so quickly, just like sugar. Your blood sugar rises fast, your insulin follows, and when you're not using that energy right away, it gets stored as fat. But it's not just the carbohydrates. Fries are also cooked in industrial seed oils like canola and soybean. Those oils are often reheated over and over and over, repeatedly heated oils. If you have not watched my video on that, I highly recommend you do it. That breaks them down into toxic compounds. They get more toxic the more times they're heated. It triggers inflammation. Inflammation blocks the body's ability to burn fat. So now you've got a food that spikes blood sugar and a cooking method that interferes with your body's metabolism. And nothing to slow it down. Fries don't contain fiber. They're not filling. They're so easy to overeat. And that's why you can go through an entire basket without even realizing how much you had. And then we dip them in high fructose corn syrup called ketchup. They combine salt, starch, fat. It just lights up your brain as a reward system. But it doesn't tell your body to stop. And over time, that rewires your eating habits. The body starts to crave more and more. It stores more of what you don't burn. And you don't even feel like you're overeating because you've never truly been full. The average American eats 30 pounds of French fries per year. That's not a side dish. That's a slow, steady pattern that keeps your body stuck in fat burning mode. Number 10 is alcohol. Let's talk about a big one, especially for people who think they're doing everything right but still can't lose the belly fat. Alcohol. You might not think of it as a food, but it plays a major role in your metabolism. Here's what most people don't realize. When alcohol enters your system, everything else stops. Your metabolism drops what it's doing and then switches to processing the alcohol first. So that means you're not burning fat. You're not breaking down other foods that you might have just eaten. And anything you've eaten alongside of the alcohol, it gets stored, often as fat. But it's not just that. Alcohol also messes with your hunger hormones. It lowers leptin. That's the hormone that makes you feel full. It starts storing, deciding it's burning fat or storing fat. It raises your ghrelin levels. That's the one that makes you feel full, tells your brain, let's stop eating or let's eat. So people end up eating more and usually worse after a drink or two, right? You have a drink or two and then you're like, your guard comes down and you're willing to eat more and it's cranking up the ghrelin hormone telling you, ooh, yeah, let's eat. It's not about willpower. It's about what alcohol does to your brain, to your cravings, and your ability to burn fat. Something else to keep in mind, a single glass of wine has about the same calories as a slice of cake. Doesn't feel like you've ate anything, so then it's easy to have 2 or 3 without thinking about it. Now pair that with a few fries, a late night snack, or something sweet, and you've created a perfect storm for fat storage with nothing in your system to burn any of it off. And then alcohol turns into hunger, blocks fat burning, throws off the hormones that help you control your cravings and your metabolism. And that's why for a lot of people, alcohol isn't just slowing the progress, it's completely overriding it. Number 11. This one surprises a lot of people, especially those trying to make better choices. Soda, especially diet soda. And I can't believe it still surprises a lot of people, but diet soda and regular soda, it's a sugar bomb. It's a toxin bomb, no question. Here's the twist. Diet soda may be just as bad and in some studies worse for your waistline. In fact, a 9-year study showed that people who drank diet soda daily gained 3 times more abdominal fat than those that didn't. Let that sink in. 3 times more belly fat from a drink with 0 calories. How does that happen? Back to the artificial sweeteners, the ones like sucralose or aspartame or ACE-K. Hundreds of times sweeter than sugar, they don't contain any energy, and your brain tastes sweetness and prepares for calories. But the calories never come. They disconnect and confuse your appetite signals. Your hunger hormones stay active because they were looking for food, but they got tricked. So you end up eating more later, and you don't even realize it. One study found that people who drank a sucralose-sweetened drink before a meal ate 30% more calories than those who didn't, even though the drink had 0 calories. It's not just about behavior. Some sweeteners may also spike insulin in certain people or throw off the gut bacteria. Then you're storing fat, you're feeling hungry. So even though it says 0 calories on the can, your body still reacts in a way that promotes weight gain. That's what makes it so misleading. You drink it to lose weight, but you drink it to lose the weight, but it might actually be the reason that you're gaining the weight. Number 12, the next one is so common, so easy to overeat. Probably the easiest one to overeat of all the foods, even French fries. Most people don't even realize it's holding them back. Potato chips. Crunchy, salty, satisfying. They're also one of the most fattening foods you can eat on a regular basis. In the largest long-term study on food and weight gain, researchers from Harvard found that potato chips were the #1 snack food contributing to weight gain. French fries was the #1 overall food. This is #1 snack foods. French fries were strongly associated with weight gain across all the categories, but when it came to those specific snacks, this is the biggest culprit. The research found that potato chips caused more weight gain per serving than any other snack food study, more than candy, more than soda, and more than ice cream. So what makes chips a problem is they're not just high in calories, they're designed to make you eat more. They combine the salt, starch, fat. That combo, again, lights the brain up, but doesn't activate your I'm full signals. There's no fiber, no protein, no water. Nothing that tells your brain to stop eating. And then the portion size, a single serving is usually 15 chips. Most people blow way past that in the first 2 minutes of opening the bag. One more chip, one more handful. Before you know it, the bag's half gone. You're still not full. So this is just not a habit to be putting in if you're trying to control your satiety. They're really habit forming though, especially when you're watching TV, you're snacking at night, eating out of stress or boredom. When you eat something that your body doesn't recognize as enough, it sets off a pattern. You're not just eating more in that moment. You're training your brain to stay in search mode, chasing flavor, to keep snacking. And that's how you end up gaining weight slowly and steadily without really understanding why. And then finally, number 13, MSG, monosodium glutamate. It is one of the sneakiest ingredients in the modern food supply. Most people think it's just in fast foods or in restaurant takeout. But here's a picture of a bunch of very common foods that contain MSG. Shows up in far more places than you'd ever expect it. It may already be in your kitchen. I'm talking canned soups, frozen dinners, salad dressings, snack chips, instant noodles, flavored meats, even high protein bars. Snacks marketed as healthy. What makes it so misleading is if food companies add MSG directly, they have to list it as monosodium glutamate. But if they use the ingredient that contains MSG, like a yeast extract or a hydrolyzed soy protein, the FDA does not require these companies to say that MSG is in the product. That's how it ends up hiding in names like yeast extract, even some natural flavors, glutamic acid, autolyzed yeast, hydrolyzed anything, except for collagen. That's totally different. So even if you've been checking labels and checking these products and you're trying to avoid MSG, there's a good chance you're still eating it without even realizing it. MSG doesn't make food more nutritious. It makes food harder to stop eating. It stimulates your taste buds and your brain's reward system, but it doesn't activate the hormones that tell you to slow down or stop. So that disconnect is why MSG is so dangerous. In one study of 752 people, those who consumed more MSG had 2.1 times higher risk of being overweight, even when they ate the same number of calories and exercised the same amount. That means MSG isn't pushing you to eat more. It's programming your body to store the fat. It does that by interfering with leptin, the hormone that signals fullness. And when leptin can't do its job, your body stays in appetite mode even after a full meal. And the use of MSG isn't slowing down. In the 1950s, Americans consumed about 1 million pounds of MSG per year. Today, that number's exploded. 300 million pounds, and most of it is buried in foods that look totally normal on the surface. MSG isn't added to make food healthier. It's added because it makes food harder to stop eating. It keeps your hunger turned on. It blocks the I'm full signal, and it tells your body to keep eating and keep storing even when you don't need more food. So now that we've cut out the foods that make you hungrier and stall fat loss, our next step is to fuel your body with the right ones. The slimming superfoods. But let me pause there for a second. Being this is a live masterclass, there is a lot to digest right there. Coaches, hit me up for a minute before I go into the 13 slimming superfoods. You can start to counteract that. Anything specific I can hit on quick. I'm going to do a Q&A in just a moment. But coaches, bread-wise, it's got to have fiber. It's got to have protein. It's got to be seed breads. Could be sourdough if it's got enough fiber involved with it. Be very careful. You got to have enough fiber, enough protein to counteract those carbohydrates and those sugars. It's very important. MSG, hope you took those names down. Yeast extract, autolyzed, hydrolyzed. That's where MSG is hiding. It's shocking how many of those companies are still using this stuff regularly. Coaches, if you could post up a few alternative names for the MSG, that could be helpful as well. We will do this on a replay. Got it. Because I know I went through and I didn't give all the alternatives necessarily to those, but I want to get into these foods that really help to drive that satiety and fill you up, okay? I know you guys are ready. I'm seeing it. Let's dive into it. High fiber if you're going to do bread. Solid protein. More protein, the better. That's the key to counteract the carbs and counteract the sugars. These right here are the absolute best foods that are going to take you the other direction. Okay. Coaches will post up some alternatives there. Help you out a few questions. But let's dive in to the 13 slimming superfoods. Going to help you to eat less and lose more. Here we go. Right now, your body is doing one of two things. It's either burning fat or it's storing it. And the thing that flips the switch isn't your workout, it's your hormones. And one of the most powerful is called GLP-1, the same hormone that weight loss drugs like Ozempic are designed to mimic. But you don't need to spend $300 on a shot to get those benefits that your body already knows how to make. You just have to give it the right fuel. So right now, I'm going to show you 13 superfoods that naturally support GLP-1. That way you can finally flip the switch back to fat burning and start seeing real results. What is GLP-1 and why does it matter? Matters in fat loss, matters in your waistline. So before we jump into the foods, there's one thing that you need to understand. It's the hormone that all the weight loss drugs are designed to mimic. Ozempic, Wegovy, Trulicity. They all work by copying something that your body already does, that it already makes. That's the GLP-1. It's made in your gut. It plays a huge role in appetite, blood sugar, and fat storage. After you eat, GLP-1 slows digestion, keeps insulin from spiking, and it tells your brain, we're full. We don't need to eat more food right now. That's what helps your body stop storing fat and start burning it. Here's the problem. Most people, especially after the age of 40, don't make enough of it. And when GLP-1 is low, cravings go up, fat starts to pile up, and it's harder and harder to feel full, even after a meal. The good news is you don't need an injection to fix it. You just need to eat the foods that help your body release GLP-1 naturally, and that's exactly what I'm going to show you. So let's dive into the list. Number one of the easiest and most powerful ways to flip the GLP-1 switch is with leafy greens. Leafy greens. They're simple, they're accessible, they come with no side effects. Leafy greens help your body release natural appetite regulating hormones. And if you're constantly hungry or you're eating clean but still not seeing results, start here. Here's how they work. Inside, leafy greens have compounds called thylakoids. That's the green part of the plant that absorbs sunlight. But when you eat it, it slowly digests and it slows down digestion and it starts to break down fat. That gives your gut more time to release the fullness hormones. One of those hormones, GLP-1. In one study, women that took spinach that is rich in thylakoids had 95% fewer cravings for sweets, 43% more weight loss over a 3-month period without changing anything else. That's not a drug. That's your body doing what it's designed to do with the right fuel. 95% less craving for sweets. Spinach. There's more. Greens are packed with fiber and water. That combo gently stretches your stomach, triggering fullness signals to your brain. In one study, people who started meals with a small salad, take the side salad first, ate 11% fewer calories without even trying. Want to eat less? Side salad first. Want to level up even further? Add some bitter greens. Now that's like arugula and mustard greens and dandelion. They're strong in flavor, but that's the point. Bitterness signals your gut. Real food's coming. Get ready to digest. It triggers bile production. Bile helps break down fat, clears wastes and toxins, and supports your digestion and metabolism. So as you age, bile flow slows. That's one reason fat starts sticking, even when you're eating clean. So bitter greens can help clear that system and get things moving again. Couple tips. Don't smother the greens in junk food. Skip the seed oils. Skip the sugary dressing. Skip the croutons and the fake health toppings. Okay? Stick to olive oil, apple cider vinegar, lemons, sea salt. Keep it simple. Let the greens do their job. A pro tip, start your meals with greens, even if it's just a small handful. And a cheat, you can get these first thing in the morning. You make a smoothie, handful of greens in it. Activating the fullness signals early in your day can really help you naturally eat less as the day or as the meal goes on. Food number 2, leafy greens help set the stage. But getting your appetite signals back on track, supporting digestion, turning fat burning back on from the inside out. Next step is talking about another powerful food group that works in a totally different way. Nuts and seeds. I got a couple favorites. If you're trying to lose weight, especially belly fat, nuts and seeds can be a powerful tool. They are rich in healthy fats, rich in fiber. Critical micronutrients are also involved, all of which help your body feel full longer, keep blood sugar levels steady, especially after meals. That combo right there, fat and fiber, slows down digestion. It gives your gut more time to release GLP-1. And because these are real whole foods, not processed snacks, they deliver the signal without spiking insulin or crashing your energy. Not all nuts and seeds are created equal. So let me take a look real quick at 3 of the best ones that I recommend most often. Okay, here's a couple of my favorites. Coconut, loaded with MCTs, medium chain triglycerides. These are special fats that go straight to the liver for quick and easy energy, supporting it. So instead of being stored as fat, it helps your body burn fat in between meals. You can fast and actually not eat longer without running out of steam with a little bit of MCT, a little bit of coconut oil. So coconut oil is so popular when people are using fasting and fat burning programs because it's clean, it's stable energy. It helps you keep your metabolism active. Second one, this is one of my favorite GLP-1 foods, chia seeds. These are tiny, but they do something very huge and unique. When you soak chia seeds in water or put them into a blended smoothie, your stomach expands. They get larger when you put them in liquid. So it creates a physical feeling of fullness that can make it really easy to cut the cravings. And you can go longer in between meals. Chia seeds also contain a lot of fiber. That's what supports the gut hormone, the GLP-1, helping your body regularly level out the appetite. In one study, people who added chia seeds to their diet for 12 weeks lost more weight and had better hunger control, especially in those people that were overweight when they started. Chia seeds, one of my favorites. We can add this recipe down below in the comments. Chia seed pudding, super simple recipe. We're literally doing a half a cup to a cup of chia seeds. You're adding in a can of coconut milk, and then you add in a scoop of my collagen plus multivitamin. We're going to talk about collagen and its impact. Let that sit for a couple hours in the fridge. That is your late night snack. It will stop the binging on potato chips and other things that we're stuffing in at nighttime. That is your dessert and your snack. Incredible GLP-1 enhancement. My final one, not often looked at as a nut or seed, but cacao. Cacao actually comes from the seed of this coffee bean, cacao bean. And then it's also often ground into a powder. It is unsweetened chocolate. But the raw form of the cacao bean is what we're looking at. Cacao is rich in magnesium. That helps regulate the blood sugar levels, balances the stress hormones, supports a healthy metabolism. It also contains a lot of flavonoids, these plant nutrients that help your body process sugar more efficiently. It's going to improve communication between your gut and your brain. That communication is how your brain decides, I'm full, stop eating, and start burning fat. In one study, cacao flavonols increased GLP-1, reduced ghrelin, that hormone that makes you feel full, like it says eat, 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 eat. So these foods aren't just snacks. They are smart tools that help your hormones work for you instead of against you. Cacao, little tip for it, I buy the powder form of it in organic form. I add it to a coffee, smoothie, or I mix it straight up with my collagen plus multi. It was just in here a little bit ago. I'm now drinking extra cacao each morning to help me feel full longer. Doesn't mean you're having nuts and seeds for every single meal. A lot of nut butters, right? And snack mixes. Gotta be very careful with these. They can be loaded with added oils, added sugars, and added preservatives. You want the whole raw forms, singular ingredient, whether it's a nut butter or whether it's an actual handful of nuts, raw forms, or dry roasted. That's it. Flips the whole effect the wrong direction if you mess that up. So stick with the raw forms: coconut oil, cacao in its powdered form, chia seeds, flax seeds, walnuts. Isn't it funny that they're shaped in the shape of your brain, they're actually excellent for your brain. Almonds, cashews, real stuff, no junk. First, keep your portions tight. Okay, this is how to make the most of them. Nuts and seeds are very calorie dense, so just a small handful or a measured scoop is plenty. You got to control this because you'll keep snacking on them. Use them to build a meal, adding chia seeds in, adding cacao in, less as a random snack. I want you just eating tons of nuts all day. That's not going to solve the purpose, but they're perfect added to a meal or maybe as your little appetizer before. So the chia in the smoothie, the almond butter with some, some fruits, or like a Granny Smith apple, coconut flakes on a dessert or in a salad. Those combos keep those blood sugars stable and they keep the appetite in check. Number 3, while nuts and seeds help you feel full and keep you steady between meals, lemons work in a completely different way. Lemons help jumpstart digestion, reset the metabolism, and support the organs that process fat behind the scenes. I love this because these are superfoods that are so easy to get. The key player here is your liver. Lemon supports bile flow, which is critical for breaking down the fats inside of your body, for processing those. So as you age, bile production is slowing. And when that happens, fat becomes harder to digest and a lot easier to store. Lemon helps stimulate bile release, especially when you drink it in water before meals. Curb the craving, have lemon water first. Want a snack at night? Have some lemon water first. It also gives you a solid dose of vitamin C. Vitamin C helps to lower inflammation. It frees up your metabolism, supports the conversion of stored fat into usable energy. In fact, in one study, people with low vitamin C levels burned 25% less fat during exercise. But after supplementing and adding in sources of vitamin C for 8 weeks, their fat burning jumped 400%. It's huge. There's more. Lemon helps blunt blood sugar spikes. So after a carb-heavy meal, you can help to minimize that by putting lemon water, less fat storage, better appetite control later in the day. It's also a natural diuretic. Helps to reduce bloating, water retention, helps with calcium buildup in the kidneys. So when you feel lighter, even before the fat starts coming off, that's a win, feeling good. Just supporting the stomach acid, breaking down protein, breaking down fat more efficiently. That way your body can absorb nutrients instead of passing them through, and you eat to live, not live to eat. Start your day with some lemon water. Simplest way to do it, wake up, and then wake up your liver. It rehydrates you, helps that liver out, primes digestion for the day. You can also drink it right before meals, like I said, to help curb the appetite and portion control. People who just drank 16 ounces of water before eating lost more weight because they simply felt more full quicker. Add some lemon in, and you enhance that process. If you start your day with orange juice or a tea, sweetened tea, like a sweetened tea, or a soda, swap it with some lemon water to just have something different than water, but it can be a massive difference. You avoid that blood sugar spike, you're gonna stay hydrated, you give your body a clean, natural signal to burn, not store fat. Number 4, for years, we were told that fat makes us fat. Where did that lead us? We just got much more fat. The truth is your body needs fat to burn fat, especially the kind of fat found in avocados. It tells your brain you're full, helps you go longer between meals, fuels your metabolism with clean, usable energy. Here's how. Avocados are rich in monounsaturated fats and fiber. So together, if you're catching a theme, those two slow down digestion, support your gut, and help trigger GLP-1, the hormone that keeps you full. That's why avocados leave you satisfied without needing to snack an hour later. They go deeper. Monounsaturated fats help improve insulin sensitivity. That's a game changer for fat loss. When your cells respond better to insulin, your body doesn't have to release as much. Lower insulin equals more fat burning, less fat storing. In one study, people who added a half an avocado to their lunch felt more full, had lower insulin levels, and stored less belly fat than those who didn't add the avocado. And in another trial, women who ate one avocado a day for 12 weeks lost a significant amount of visceral fat, the fat around the organs that messes with blood sugar and messes with hormones, and they did it without changing anything else. No new diet, no extra workouts, just one avocado. So start small, half an avocado, a few slices, pair it with some clean protein, some fiber, put it on a salad. Got some mixed greens with that. You could do it over your eggs if you're having those in the morning for a clean breakfast or a clean breakfast bowl. You can use guacamole. Just make sure there's no seed oils, there's no added sugar, just real and whole ingredients. Another trick is to add some avocado into a smoothie. You can freeze them to keep them longer. Just take the peels off, freeze them. You can drop a quarter or half avocado easily into a smoothie. It makes it more creamy. You're going to be more full. Zero insulin spike. You're starting your day in fat burning mode. Number 5, once your body's getting clean fuel, staying full between meals, the next step is clearing out what's slowing you down. That means the backed up waste, the old hormones, and the inflammation. Old hormones is a big one. There are 2 foods that help get the system moving again: cucumbers and broccoli. If you feel bloated, sluggish, or backed up, start with a cucumber. 96% water, but it's not just about the hydration. That water is combined with a perfect amount of fiber. It helps move waste through your digestive tract, flushes out the toxins and the excess hormones, supports a clean, active metabolism, and acts like a natural diuretic. So it reduces puffiness, water retention, especially after salty meals. Here's a surprising fact. Cucumbers are one of the most filling foods per calorie. That means you can snack on them even during a fasting window, or even during when you just like need something to snack on, and when you just want to feel full because you're like, I need something, and you can do it without spiking insulin. The fiber and the volume help stretch the stomach just enough to trigger GLP-1, signaling fullness even when you haven't eaten much. Clean, natural, no cravings, but you can't patent cucumbers. You're not injecting them. But who knew that they trigger GLP-1? Broccoli. Let's talk about this. One of the best detox supporting foods you can eat. Broccoli contains sulforaphane. It's a natural plant compound that helps your liver break down old hormones. Men, super important. Women, super important. Excess estrogen in either one of those systems. Broccoli helps break it down and get rid of old stored hormones. It also clears out fat-soluble toxins, supports bioflow as well. That can help to lower cholesterol levels, support the fat metabolism. But one of broccoli's biggest benefits is the fighting of the inflammation. When your gut is inflamed, hormone signals get scrambled. And that's when your body hangs on to fat that it should be burning. So broccoli is also rich in fiber, and that does 3 things. It slows down the digestion, it steadies blood sugar, and it feeds good gut bacteria. That extended digestion gives your body more time to release hormones like GLP-1. Helps you stop eating before you've overeaten. So instead of chasing snacks all day, your system stays calm, steady, and in balance. Some tips to get more cucumber and broccoli, because it might not be a normal regimen. It doesn't sound that sexy. Add a cucumber slice or a cooked broccoli to your first meal on the side with your eggs. Combine it with clean fats, olive oils, avocado oil. Steam it, roast it, toss it in a salad. Olive oil, lemon, or clean mayo. Raw broccoli can cause some bloating, so if it does for you, steam it a bit. Dip them in some hummus. Make sure they're seed oil free. The cucumber, you can eat it just whole. Or if you just take a little bit of the skin off, kind of peel it a bit, you'd be shocked how much just taking a little bit of that skin off, you're like, wow, these are really good. They have a very good texture and a very good taste to them. They're also great, even if you're in the middle of fasting and you're gonna cave, have a little bit of cucumber. You'll feel full and your blood sugar will stay steady. Drop some cucumbers in your water overnight. Tastes better, it hydrates you, keeps your body absorbing the nutrients more efficiently, and then you can eat them when you're done with the water. Number 6, grass-fed beef and grass-fed collagen. Most people don't think of beef when they think about fat loss, but clean, high-quality protein, especially from grass-fed beef, is one of the best ways to flip your appetite control switch back on. This is one I want you to get added into every single morning if you can do it. Here's why. When you eat protein, your gut breaks it down into amino acids. Amino acids repair tissues, they build enzymes, and they trigger the release directly of GLP-1. This helps you feel full longer and stay satisfied in between the meals. In fact, protein triggers more GLP-1 than carbs or fat. It also improves insulin sensitivity, keeps your blood sugar stable, helps that your body can shift your body out of that storage mode of fat and into fat burning mode. So instead of feeling hungry an hour later, you keep calm, satisfied, in control. Now, not all beef is created equal. Grass-fed beef will give you a complete protein with high amounts of iron, zinc, and B12, and then it doesn't have any added chemicals to tax your liver. No added antibiotics to tax your liver. It's huge if you're dealing with stubborn fat, if you have an estrogen excess or imbalance or a sluggish thyroid. Because when your hormones are out of sync, the last thing you want is meat that throws off your hormones even more. So we need those antibiotics out of there. Now, from a collagen perspective, grass-fed collagen, special type of protein that your body uses for skin, joints, gut lining, and metabolic repair. Collagen production slows down with age. And when that happens, your gut and your hormone function takes a hit. So one of collagen's most important jobs is sealing and repairing the lining of your gut. When your gut gets inflamed, it gets leaky, and then toxins get into your bloodstream and your hormones get scrambled. Your metabolism pays the price. So collagen helps calm down that inflammation, supports those better hormone signalings, and it brings your fat burning systems back online. And the bonus is it's really easy to digest. Helps you feel full without spiking insulin levels. So it's perfect even if you're fasting or you're in a detox or fat loss days when you just want to eat less without hunger. It's backed by a lot of research. In a 12-week study, adults who took 15 grams of collagen peptides on a daily basis lost 1.5 pounds of body fat without changing diet or exercise. The placebo group actually gained weight, but the collagen group lost visceral fat, the deep, stubborn belly fat. That's what throws the hormones off, slows everything down. So, some tips for it. Go grass-fed whenever possible. Skip the processed stuff. Nothing with added seed oils or sugars or chemical fillers. Stick with real clean grass-fed meat. For collagen, make sure it's grass-fed. You could go unsweetened, or you could go one that's sweetened with monk fruit or stevia. I just add it into a cup or into coffee, and this is how I start my day. Protein to start the day is going to lead to a way smaller lunch. 53% bump if you are eating higher carbohydrate, sugar-based foods. So I just add water with cacao and chocolate collagen, or I'm actually adding the collagen into my coffee with coconut oil and butter, blending it. Even if I'm fasting, I will still do these things. Protein to build the tissues, clean out the hormones, start the day with it is one of my top tips for making you feel more full faster. Protein coffee or a smoothie. Works good even on fasting days. You can make your own bone broth if you want to, but that's the easy cheat code, the fastest ones. It's one of the best ways to support your gut, your joints, and your metabolism all at the same time. Number 7, fish and fish oil. Once your metabolism has the protein that it needs to rebuild, the next step is clearing out the inflammation that slows everything down. One of the best ways to do it is omega-3 fats. Wild-caught fish are the main source of them. We want them to be clean. They don't just help your heart or your brain. They support the same hormone signaling that drives fat burning and hunger control. Here's the issue. Modern diets are flooded with omega-6 fats. Seed oils, packaged snacks, processed foods, they throw your body out of balance. They drive inflammation. They block your ability to use omega-3s properly. So when you don't get enough EPA and DHA, because we don't eat enough fish in our diets, those are the active forms of omega-3s. A couple big things start to happen. Your inflammation levels are going to be way high when you have these because your omega-6 is so high, your omega-3 is so low from not eating enough. Your body is going to be more insulin resistant and your GLP-1 is going to be low. So if we can add more omega-3s in and take in less omega-6s from bad forms, we're going to reverse that, which is going to mean better appetite control, less fat storage, and a metabolism that's ready to burn. In one study, people who added omega-3s to their diet had higher GLP-1 and satiety hormone levels. In another study, women who took fish oil for 12 weeks had less body fat and better insulin levels without changing their diet. And then in one more study, omega-3s helped reduce belly fat and liver fat, two of the hardest types of fat to lose as you age. So, tips for it. Aim for wild caught, salmon, sardines, mackerel. 2 to 3 times a week, we want to try to get those in. If that's tough or you don't like it, got to use a fish oil supplement. Just make sure it has listed amounts of EPA and DHA on the back. It has no added fillers or flavorings or sugars or toxic oils, and that it is not in a clear container. Fish oils can go rancid and oxidize very quickly. So you want to make sure they're not in a clear container. So that's how you know it's clean and you can make sure that your body can actually use it. Number 8. Most sweet foods spike blood sugar. They trigger cravings. They crash your energy. And they make fat loss harder. But berries are different. They satisfy your sweet tooth without sending your blood sugar through the roof. Here's how they work. Berries are low in sugar, high in fiber, and packed with polyphenols. These are plant compounds that fight inflammation. So the fiber slows down how fast your body is absorbing the sugar. So instead of a spike and a crash, blood sugar stays stable. Hunger hormones stay balanced. Your body has more time to release GLP-1. Fewer cravings, more control between meals, and a better shot of burning fat instead of storing it. In one study, women who added berries to a meal had lower insulin levels, felt more satisfied, even though calories stayed the same. In another study, people who ate blueberries each day improved insulin sensitivity by 22%. It's a huge win. The research is all here. Better insulin, more fat burning, less fat storing. There's more. Berries are rich in anthocyanins. It's a compound that gives them their deep color. And the anthocyanins help reduce inflammation in the gut. They protect the gut lining, and they support better hormone signaling. So that gut hormone connection is critical in losing weight. It's how your body knows when to stop eating, when to start burning up the fat. So in one study, berry polyphenols helped preserve GLP-1 function, even in people with metabolic syndrome, insulin resistance. That means better appetite control, exactly where you need it the most. Tips for berries. Stick with fresh ones or frozen ones. Ideally not dried ones. They've removed nutrients. And definitely not the juice. Once the fiber is stripped out, the benefits are gone. Go for a small handful per day on its own or in a smoothie. You can mix it in with your protein and your healthy fats. And if you can, go organic, especially with strawberries, as they're one of the most pesticide-heavy crops on the market because they absorb a lot of them. Food number 9. Want to shut down cravings? Flip on to fat burning? Start with your first meal of the day. And few foods are better than pasture-raised eggs. Here's why. Eggs are a complete protein. They contain all the amino acids that your body needs, and they activate key hormones that control appetite and fat storage. One of those hormones, GLP-1. Studies show that protein triggers GLP-1 more effectively than carbs or fat, and eggs are one of the most bioavailable sources of protein out there. In one clinical study, people who ate eggs for breakfast ate 400 fewer calories over the next 36 hours compared to those who had a bagel or some calories or a different response, or maybe even didn't eat at all. It's the difference between storing fat and burning it. I've put this to the test. I've been recently implementing having some pasture eggs in the morning along with either my protein coffee or my collagen mixed with cacao. That's how I started my day today. And I will not be hungry. I'll be very full. I won't be craving until it starts to get into the afternoon. But it doesn't take me much to get topped back off, because the research is all there. Eggs increase GLP-1. They lower ghrelin. That's the hormone that tells you to eat. That's what studies show. It's a double win for you to feel full, and the urge to overeat down the road later in the day goes way down. It's way dialed down. So eggs also contain choline that supports fat metabolism. It helps your liver break down fat way more efficiently. They're also a good source of vitamin D. Plays a crucial role in hormone production, also a crucial role in appetite control. Go with pasture-raised eggs whenever you can. You'll get more omega-3s out of those. You'll get better fats and the stronger nutrient profile because the animal is going to be well fed, which is going to produce a better quality egg. Start your egg. If you normally start your day with toast or like cereal bar or a sweetened coffee, swap it for pasture-raised eggs. Now, protein coffee I usually do with it. I usually do one or the other or do them both together. You can cook them or fry them in coconut oil, or my favorite is butter. You could pair it with an avocado. You could pair it with some greens. You could pair it with some broccoli. You could boil some ahead of time for a grab and go. Skip the toast, skip the hash browns, skip the sweeteners. It's the combo of what's in eggs that shuts down, that negativity that you put in your body right away in the morning. You need protein, you need fiber. That's going to set the tone. Number 10, once your hormones, energy are steady, it's time to focus on the system that runs everything behind the scenes. That's your gut. Because even if you're eating clean, if your gut's out of balance, cravings could still be up. Energies could still crash. Fat could still be sticking, even if you're doing a lot of the right things. So that's where fermented foods come in. Sauerkraut. One of my favorites. Raw fermented sauerkraut is loaded with probiotics, live bacteria that help restore balance to a gut microbiome. And the balance is critical for hunger regulation, fat storage, and hormone signaling. In fact, certain probiotic strains have been shown to increase GLP-1 production and then naturally reduce appetite. Fermented foods also help seal and protect your gut lining. That reduces inflammation. It prevents digestive issues, a lot of the ones that block fat loss. And when your gut lining is damaged, even healthy foods can trigger stress. Makes it a lot harder to lose the fat. Apple cider vinegar is the second one. ACV works a little different. Slows how fast food leaves your stomach. Helps your blood sugar stabilize and stay steady. It reduces insulin spikes. It produces post-meal fullness. In one study, people who took ACV right before a carb-heavy meal, just a capful of it, they had a 30% lower blood sugar. And they felt more full than the control group. It's a simple, natural way to reduce overeating. Some tips with fermented food. Want the raw, unpasteurized version of the sauerkraut if you can. I like to get it in the cooler section, the fridge section, not the one in the can on the shelf. It's going to have better bacteria in it. Couple forkfuls as a side with your meal. We use it as a side at nighttime. The kids love it even. There's pickled flavored ones. Kefir could be an option. Probiotic rich. Make sure it has full culture on the back. If you're gonna do some yogurt, better be more Greek. You want less sugar. We've got to get fiber and protein in there. And it must say live cultures. It's not my favorite source of fermented foods, but it must say live cultures because the processing of it kills the cultures. ACV though, tablespoon in water, capful before meals. Start slow, especially if your gut's been out of balance. Too much too fast can backfire. Always read the labels. Look for those live cultures. Make sure there's no added sugars and as few ingredients as possible. Food number 11, fiber-rich prebiotics. Once you started rebuilding healthy gut bacteria, the next step is to keep feeding those so they can thrive. That's where fiber-rich prebiotics come in. There's multiple benefits here. They aren't just any fibers. They're the kind that your gut bacteria feed on. They love it. When your gut is fed well, everything starts working together. Cravings get quieter. Hormones reset. Metabolism stops feeling stuck. My favorite, beans. Most people think of beans as carbs, but they're loaded with resistant starch and fibers. It's a type of fiber your body doesn't fully digest. It moves through you. So instead, it travels to your gut where it gets fermented by good bacteria. It reduces inflammation. It improves insulin sensitivity, and it boosts fullness signals like GLP-1. In one study, people who ate beans with a meal had lower blood sugar, lower insulin, and higher satiety hormones. So the result is they felt fuller longer and ate less later without even trying. Add beans to dinner. Every dinner, if you can. Chicory root is another favorite. It's one of the richest natural sources of inulin, a prebiotic, very powerful one. It helps feed the good bacteria in the gut. It reduces ghrelin, which is telling your brain to eat, and it increases your body's natural GLP-1. Chicory root. It means fewer cravings, less snacking, more fat burning. In clinical reviews, chicory root fiber had been shown to support fat loss, shrink the waist, and improve BMI without intense dieting. Glucomannan is another prebiotic-rich fiber. It's made from the konjac root. This fiber does something unique in the body because when you mix it with water, it expands into a goo. It's like nature's gastric band. Stretches the gut, makes it full, slows down digestion, and then extends the I'm full signal. In one study, people who took glucomannan before their meals lost over 5 pounds in 8 weeks without changing their diet. I love these studies. So here's some tips for fiber-rich prebiotics. Start with real food. Add beans to your soup, to your salad, to your bowls as a side. Find some ways to get them in. Fiber, fiber, fiber. That's what's going to counteract the carbohydrates and the sugars. It's what's going to counteract and make you feel full so you stop snacking. Look for whole, unsweetened varieties with nothing added. Salt is fine, but not like oils. Black beans are my favorite because they're so chucked full of magnesium. They're delicious. Pinto beans, navy beans. Chicory root can be found in certain teas or prebiotic blends or a fiber powder that you can stir into water. I actually have chicory root in my magnesium capsules to help it absorb better. But then one of the main ones is the glucomannan. These are found in the konjac root, so you can get them through konjac noodles if you wanted to try those as a noodle alternative, or in a powder or capsule form. I actually add glucomannan into my collagen plus multivitamin. So when I make my morning chocolate cacao mix or my protein coffee, glucomannan is also in there. So I'm putting in multiple superfoods to start the day that are just not hungry, and I eat less at lunchtime. This is how you start to eat less, and can be added in that protein powder, that collagen, at any point in the day, or you can also just add beans in at nighttime. So always take it with plenty of water. That's the way it allows that stomach to expand. And go slow if you're new to fiber, okay? Because too much fiber too fast, you can create some bloating, which then kind of defeats the whole purpose. And if you do get the bloating, add in some cucumbers, okay? Food number 12. They're stacking and they're getting more important as we get deeper. If you've been wondering whether there is more of a natural alternative, one-to-one, these next two foods is what you're going to start paying attention to. So this first one needs to be on your radar. There's one that's even better than that. The first one is berberine. It's one of the most well-researched compounds out there when it comes to fat loss, blood sugar, and hormone support. Here's why. Berberine supports GLP-1 response. The same pathway triggered by protein, fiber, and healthy fats, that's where berberine impacts immediately. When berberine reaches your gut, it interacts with the intestinal lining and it stimulates the release of GLP-1. That slows down digestion, keeps blood sugar steady, and sends a clear message to your brain saying, I'm full. That's what makes it so powerful. So people dealing with constant hunger and blood sugar crashes or energy dips between meals, it is compared directly to with metformin, has a similar impact in the body on those blood sugar levels. In a clinical trial where people took berberine, they saw improvements in blood sugar and in their A1Cs, and even in triglycerides or waist circumference. Those matter. Those are the numbers we want to get improved. Insulin dropping, inflammation falling, metabolism coming, a better response. In another study, people with insulin resistance took 500 milligrams of berberine 3 times per day for 12 weeks, and the result, they lost an average of 5 pounds. Most of it from visceral fat around the belly and the organs. No new diet, no new workouts. Just better hormone signaling. So, some tips with it. You want to look for pure berberine from the barberry, ideally labeled as berberine HCl. That's the ideal form of it. So it's not synthetically blended or not any artificial filters into it, okay? It's important to know that berberine can lower your blood sugar levels. So if you're already on glucose lowering meds or anything, be sure to talk to your doctor or provider before adding it into your regimen. I add it in to my liver support. So I take this and have been taking it since the start of the year. Every morning, I'm now starting my day with my liver support. It's got berberine already in it, along with several other bile supporters and liver supporters to deal with the burning up of this fat or any fructose I come in contact with during the day. Then I've got cacao. I've got my superfoods, my collagen, my glucomannan, my coconut oil, multiple superfoods making me feel full just to start the day and put me immediately into fat burning mode. And sometimes I combine that with a plate of eggs. Proteins, fibers, and these superfoods, supporting the liver, through the liver, burning fat. And then there's been the addition of number 13. If one plant truly earned the name miracle tree, and one plant being compared to a natural Ozempic effect, it's this one, Moringa. It's one of the most nutrient-dense plants on the planet. Used for centuries in natural medicine, and it's now backed by a lot of science. And why it works is because Moringa doesn't just add nutrients. It helps your body do more with less. We don't just want lighter caskets, we want healthier human beings. So a combination of weighing less and getting a ton more nutrients makes it my favorite. Less hunger, less blood sugar, less inflammation, fewer cravings throughout the day, and then it's one of the richest sources of vitamins and minerals. Antioxidants, 9 essential amino acids, 92 different nutrients in one plant. It gives your body what it needs to repair tissue, to balance hormones, to keep the metabolism strong, even on a calorie deficit. So instead of running on fumes when you're fasting or when you're cutting back, your body can stay energized and balanced because it's well fed at the cellular level because of how many nutrients come along with this one miracle tree. In one study, people who added moringa leaf powder to their routine lost more weight, had better blood sugar control with no other changes. And another study showed moringa reduced blood sugar, lowered triglycerides, and decreased oxidative stress. It also supports your GLP-1 response. Thanks to all the compounds in it, like chlorogenic acid with its known ability to help weight loss, quercetin, and a variety of powerful polyphenols, those are the compounds that help lower gut inflammation, improve blood sugar regulation, and strengthen the communication between your gut and your brain. That's the connection that tells your body, I'm full. We can stop eating now. And when that system is working, fat loss becomes a whole lot easier. So some tips for moringa. Go for organic moringa leaf powder, not the extracts. Those are deceiving. Organic moringa leaf powder. It's available in capsules, teas, powder form. It does not taste too great. So adding it to some of your favorites in the powdered form is not ideal, is the consensus feedback with a lot of people. Use it in the morning or in the early afternoon. Right when appetite usually starts to ramp up, that's when you drop it in. Don't expect a buzz. It's not a stimulant. It is clean, steady energy that supports your body with all those nutrients, helps you feel more full instead of just pushing it harder. So there they are. These are the superfoods. These are the ones, the 13, that help drive it. Here's how you bring this together. Protein breakfast. Grass-fed collagen protein. Make one of the DLG coffees, the coffee recipe. Have some eggs. Get protein, and if you can also get fiber, because you added chia seeds to your smoothie, you added leafy greens to your smoothie, you added coconut oil to your coffee, you added spinach or broccoli as a side to your eggs, fiber and protein starting the day. Fiber is the focus, not carbs, not sugars. You want to cut these things out, but we've got to make sure if we're going to eat anything with carbs, we want to get fiber. We need fiber. That is what controls GLP-1. Seeds, nuts, beans, prebiotics, leafy greens, broccoli, cucumbers, berries. Walk more. Seems so simple. You have so many opportunities in your day to walk. Walk up the stairs, don't take the elevator. Walk while you're in a meeting instead of sitting in a chair for 30 minutes. Get up and walk downstairs and get yourself some water, walk back up. Go for a walk with the loved one. Walk. Move more. Very simple. Stimulate this thing. It's going to also make you feel more full and not just sit around being bored, craving food. Support your liver. Using the liver support supplements on a daily basis with Berberine. Supporting the liver, drinking lemon water. It's going to help you feel more full. It's going to lower the cravings. You could do the same thing by apple cider vinegar. These are 4 simple steps to stimulate GLP-1. One big problem remains. Stress. Crushing weight loss. Stress causes hunger and cravings, especially for those junk foods that are making you overeat. So this is an X factor that we haven't talked about yet when it comes just to food. And then that is going to have an impact on suppressing your thyroid hormones and slowing your metabolism. And then your sleep suffers. So then you have no energy and you get exhausted, you get fatigued. Your desire to move, your desire to work out, your desire to walk, it all becomes way more challenging. So you have good intentions at the beginning of the day because you have a goal set and you want to keep those goals and you have long-term goals, but they become way more difficult to hit the target because how stress is impacting your energy levels through the day. And this is exactly what happens. The normal blue line and the blue area here
are your adrenal glands. So there's a normal range where that blue line should flow. This is where your cortisol levels should be. So you'll see in the morning when you wake up, cortisol spikes to wake you up in the day, get you going and get you moving when the sun comes up. As the morning continues, cortisol comes down, and these should be the normal ranges that we are seeing as we move into noon and afternoon and into the night. The red line is where a lot of you, I fear, are. Your energy dips later morning, around noon. You get the cravings, get the spikes, some insomnia setting in. You just get exhausted. Adrenal dysfunction, cortisol spikes in the afternoon. You're getting these energy crashes, and then you're filling it with foods that are the complete opposite of GLP-1 and feeling full. And it's happening again right before bedtime. This addressing to get clean, smooth energy, to level out the stresses put on the system using these methods, but then how do we also address this? That's why I've added in to my regimen now green energy. Moringa. 7 times more vitamin C than oranges, 10 times more vitamin A than carrots, 17 times more calcium than milk, 9 times more protein than yogurt, 17 times more potassium than bananas, 25 times more iron than spinach. Here are all the nutrients that are inside of Moringa. Look at all the amino acids, antioxidants, vitamins A, B's, B1, 2, 3, 6, 7, vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin K, minerals, selenium, amino acids, non-essential amino acids, 92 nutrients, 46 types of antioxidants. Moringa is said to help support 300 different conditions and has almost all the vitamins found in fruits and vegetables. In some cases, in larger portions. With all the health benefits of this miracle herb, it can easily be termed the most nutritious herb on earth. There are no side effects. It's been tried, tested, documented, proved with evidence to support. And even kids can consume it. And we just went through its GLP-1 impact. And it's going to combat this main energy crash issue that we're supplementing sodas and energy drinks and other forms of snacks to try to pick ourselves up and give you clean, green energy. So introducing to you for the very first time, I want to introduce our Moringa capsules. I've been using these for several months now, introducing them in to my system. On a daily basis, I'm now using pure Moringa capsules as a nutrient powerhouse, natural, clean energy, supporting my digestion, gut health, natural detoxification, sustained, viable energy, cognitive, mental clarity. These are the studies of what it shows. Balanced, healthy inflammatory support, bone and muscle maintenance because of the calcium, magnesium, and phosphorus levels, cardiovascular health support, helping support healthy blood pressure levels, the stress management because of the naturally occurring tryptophan and serotonin to give you just a slight boost in energy with a calmness in your system, supporting the immune system, that good source of vitamin E that most of us are deficient on, supporting the skin. Some people put this on their skin. It's so helpful for the skin and the elasticity of it. That's the opposite of those GLP-1 drugs, the semaglutides. The natural detoxification, supporting the kidneys and the liver and the gut. It's a Living Good Daily Moringa. 1,000 milligrams, which compared to the leading Moringa on the market, that beats it by 200 milligrams. Do not be deceived by the ones that say have 10,000 milligrams. And then in the fine print, they say 10,000 equivalent, which means it's an extract of it, and it doesn't actually contain, this contains 1,000 milligrams of Moringa powder. Yes, it's been extracted out of the leaf. They would say, well, that's equivalent to 10,000 milligrams of the leaf. I know that, but that's why we extracted it from the leaf and put it in a powder so you can get it in. There is not 10,000 milligrams in a Moringa like that. They're just saying if it was the leaf, it would be 10,000. It's so deceiving. I can't believe they're allowed to say that. This has actually pure 1,000 milligrams of Moringa to support clean, green energy. 2 capsules a day was what I'm using. This is one I've added in as one of my most potent superfoods, especially for slimming superfoods. And here's something I decided to do. I look at this stuff on Amazon, and there's the number one selling one has an additive to it. It only has 800 milligrams in it. And I highly question, like, where did it come from? Or what is it? Like, I just, viral on TikTok. Okay, that doesn't mean anything to me. It doesn't mean it's quality and has what it needs. And then I started looking and kept scrolling through. And there was the people saying 10,000 milligrams, 11,000, 8,000, 6,000, the equivalents to those. That's not true in the advertising, as I just explained to you. And I'm looking through this Amazon. I'm like, I'm going to do something I haven't done before, just to put quality stuff on the map. And I build it. I do the research behind it. I believe in Living Good Daily. My kids use it. My brother uses it. My family uses it. My mother-in-law uses it. My friends and family use it. I have people that reach out to our family all the time and use it. I believe in these things. I trust in these things. I research these things. I put them into my life and I believe in what they do with it. And it makes me sick when I can go to a page like Amazon and I can see, what is this crap? Anyone's just throwing it out there and finding any kind of way to make it look good. And I don't know what's in there. I don't trust what's in there. In fact, most of the studies done say over 60% of them don't even actually contain what they're containing. And here we are working hard to increase our quality, increase the efforts we're putting into it. And then that stuff is out there. So the Living Good Daily store is the preferred place to get all of these. And you know what you're getting and where they're from. But I put this up on Amazon just to say, hey, I've got an army of you guys that believe in these things and then if it's changed your life. And you don't have to put this in your regimen. I'm just saying it's what I put into mine, and to consider taking Moringa to see what the benefits are with clean energy and boosting, slimming your waistline. But consider buying it one time or your thing on Amazon. So I actually put the Amazon link on there. And so normally I would just direct you right to our store, but I said, okay, and then for you guys today, we put on there a 20% off discount when you subscribe to it. And the reason I did that is because that price beats the best-selling one on Amazon. It has more ingredients, 1,000 milligrams, which is more than any other one on Amazon, even if they're lying to you about the extract disclaimer. And it has nothing else in it. It is the capsule and organic Moringa. Organic Moringa. Make sure it's pure and it's true. And I said, why don't we go disrupt that as a Living Good Daily movement with our people to say this is real stuff and it's belief. And I would love if you consider, if you do get it there, that I will give you that 20% off coupon. So when you add this to your cart, right, and you go to check out, this is going to apply a 20% off. I put that on there just today for you guys. So you're getting 20% off of that. Takes it down to like $18. And it's free shipping. And you can grab this. And you have your 60 count. And it will make it very easy for you to get it. And there's a little incentive on it. And I know I'm directing away from our normal store where we have our chat and we have our things. But I just get tired of crap ingredients on there dominating the placement when someone hears Dr. Living Good's training and says, oh, I'm gonna go get some Moringa, and then they go, oh, there's another one, and it's a slightly cheaper, but it's junk and it has a filler in there. So I wanted to bless you guys for giving you the 20% off discount, free shipping, 20% off and free shipping. If you would just consider when you get that product, you purchase it, leaving a review there, boosting this, and what starts to happen is then that puts quality in the listings. It puts quality up there near the forefront to say that stuff matters. And then with it, when you scan a QR code and you get a training like this, And the chance to maybe that person would not just take Moringa, that they would tap into an Ask DLG live show or pick up a book or join a challenge. And then now we actually get to go after the lifestyle of them, not just give them a pill and think that's what's going to do it, not just give them an injection and think that's what's going to do it, but that we could give them the entire system of like, I'm here, I am motivating you. I've done 370 shows in a row to answer your questions. We've done 5 straight years of challenges. We keep putting out the research and putting out the trainings, and every Friday I'm bringing you new fresh stuff, and my wife is showing you things, and my kids are behind it. We have this incredible team behind it. Like, this is a movement and a mission for quality and standards to fix the broken system that is sabotaging and throwing so many people off track. And I'm asking you, because you're a part of this training here, would you consider helping in that movement by maybe just, if you want to, you can go over there. Now, there is a link if you do want to just get it in our store. I totally get it because it's trusting and you just want to add it to your normal orders and you want it as part of your subscription. You could still go over there and do that. But I gave just a touch extra incentive if you want to consider going to Amazon, if you have that, if you do it. Just, I was like, why would I not just ask you guys? Because I get to talk and meet a lot of you when I'm in the public and you come up to me and you want to give me a hug, or when I was down in Orlando speaking and you're bawling and you're like, just keep doing what you're doing. We're so grateful for you and I want to keep pouring it back in. And so I'm like, why don't we try to leverage that to maybe like get Living Good Daily as a household brand then, so more people can just experience looking good and feeling good and living good, and not just a marketing thing or just a quick fix, or like the whole system, the workouts and the teachings and the trainings and the challenges and the coaching, and to be able to get into a universe like that to help save some more lives so they don't end up like my dad, or the 1 out of 2 people that's obese in every state in our country right now, or the 100 million people that have fatty livers that are being destroyed by the day and they don't even know this kind of stuff. So there's my call to arms, because I knew if you were part of this training that you were going to be just some of my favorite people that have been around and trusted Nurse Living Good and I with the most valuable thing you have on earth, which is your health, not spiritually, but physically, right? And that means a lot to us. But if you've been around for a little bit, then I was a little bit of a call to action of just like, hey, the mission needs to go a little more to the forefront to make bigger impact. And sometimes that credibility or cutting through that noise or putting something that I believe deserves the prominence up at the top, as opposed to, I considered showing you the other ones if you search Moringa on Amazon. I don't think that's not what we're about. We don't want to speak to what we're against. We want to be known for what we're for. And we're for being there for you and actually giving a rip and showing that we care. And sometimes it's not the easiest thing to show up every Wednesday or every Friday or put out new resources or new trainings or add, like, but I know it's a duty and it's a job and it's a blessing. It's an honor that I get to have. And so I didn't want to show all those other ones, but you kind of get the point of what I explained. And I'm like, why not? Why not put our quality stuff at the top then? Little small guy from small town from Decorah, Iowa. Like, why not? Because, like, I've learned enough along the way because of what my dad went through that I can finally get to this point of like, yeah, let's make this more of a household name. A lot more people need it. And so you can consider doing that. You can also get it. The coaches could give you the link to over to the store if you want to add it to your normal subscription, and through that, that's totally fine. You'll have access to this. But we kind of started it with like, this was sort of an Amazon baby for me, because I pay attention to the trends and I get enough questions for you. I'm like, what is going on? And I looked into this, and it's like a couple of brands that are viral on TikTok and they're just marketing their way to the top of these things. But I'm like, wait, what is actually in this? And what is it made of? And maybe some of them are okay. But I'm like, fine, okay, because Moringa's already in our coffee, but I'm like, this is going to be the mega dose of it, right? The 1,000 milligrams and the quality, and let's just make the purest one we can get with organic, brand new container. You like the container? Like the new look here? And make something that helps. And when I started digging into the GLP-1 research behind it, it just made perfect sense of this is the time. And so that's my top superfood. It is the most nutrient-dense food on the planet. And that's a pretty good one if I were to pick one to add in. And